What if the insults and judgments of other people were like arrows shot from a great distance, and you could develop a mind so resilient, so well armored, that they simply bounced off, leaving you completely unharmed? What if insults were a psychological cage whose door has been unlocked the entire time, and you simply needed to realize it? Today, we learn to walk out of that cage and into the bright, open field of inner freedom. Detach from insults to gain inner freedom, compiled and published by Stoic Power. Lesson 1. The weight of words. Imagine you are standing in a field. Another person, standing some distance away, picks up a small light pebble and tosses it in your direction. It strikes you on the shoulder with a faint tap, and you barely notice it. Now imagine that same person picks up a massive heavy boulder and, with superhuman strength, hurls it at you, crushing you under its immense weight. The inner conflict we all face is that we do not understand that the words of others are, in their natural state, all just pebbles. Through our own unexamined mental habits, we are the ones who magically transform their pebbles into crushing boulders. The painful and debilitating problem is that we grant the words of others an immense and often devastating power over our emotional state. A single negative comment, a thoughtless criticism, or a deliberate insult can completely ruin our day, our week, or even our fundamental sense of self-concept. We give these words, which are in reality nothing more than vibrations in the air or pixels on a screen, the power to dictate our own happiness, our confidence, and our inner peace. We live in a state of profound vulnerability, where any person at any time can throw a verbal stone and shatter our tranquility. We feel weak and powerless because we believe that the weight of the words is an objective reality, that the boulder is real, and that we are helpless to do anything but be crushed by it. The transformative solution is to reclaim your own superhuman power. It is the profound Stoic realization that the weight of words is not inherent in the words themselves, but is a quality that is entirely and solely assigned to them by you. It is the understanding that you are the one who chooses to turn a pebble into a boulder, and therefore you have the power to choose to let it remain a pebble. The core Stoic idea that underpins this is the concept of impressions versus judgments. The external event, the words being spoken, is just a raw, neutral impression. It is like the pebble tapping you on the shoulder. It has no inherent meaning or weight. The weight, the pain, the suffering comes from the second step, your own internal judgment about that impression. This is the story you tell yourself. This is a terrible, true, and damaging attack. This person's opinion matters. This diminishes my worth. It is this internal, voluntary act of judgment that transforms the light pebble of their words into the crushing boulder of your suffering. The Stoics taught that our freedom lies in mastering this space between impression and judgment. The benefit of this is that you become the sole arbiter of what has meaning in your life. You take back the power you have been freely giving away to others. You are no longer emotionally fragile, but resilient and self-possessed. The actionable step to begin this practice is the weight assessment exercise. The next time you feel the sting of a hurtful word or an insult, you must pause. Before you react, become a wise and impartial judge. Ask yourself these critical questions. 1. Who is the source of these words? Is this a person whose character, wisdom, and judgment I deeply and genuinely respect? What is the likely motivation behind these words? Are they coming from a place of wisdom and a desire to help me, or from a place of their own pain, insecurity, or ignorance? 3. In the grand court of my own reason, what is the actual weight that this specific opinion truly deserves? Is it a boulder, or is it, in fact, a tiny, insignificant pebble that I can simply brush off my shoulder? By consciously and deliberately performing this assessment, you are interrupting the automatic process of turning pebbles into boulders. You are reasserting your own reason as the ultimate judge of what matters. I urge you to try this the next time you feel the sting of an insult. Weigh the words on the scale of your own reason, and you will find they are almost always lighter than air. This practice helps us reevaluate the words of others, but why do they sting so much in the first place? It is because they strike our ego. Our next lesson is on the crucial art of separating your ego from your true identity. Before we continue, please subscribe to the Stoic Power channel to commit to the path of inner freedom. Lesson 2. Separating ego from identity. Imagine a great and invincible warrior. His true identity, his real strength, is in his courage, his skill, his discipline, and his indomitable spirit. Now imagine he is wearing a suit of highly polished, ornate, and incredibly fragile ceremonial armor. This armor is his ego. It is his reputation, his public image, the collection of ideas he has about himself that he wants others to believe. I am intelligent. I am respected. I am attractive. I am successful. The inner conflict we face is that we have come to mistakenly believe that we are this fragile suit of armor. We have completely fused our sense of self with our ego. The painful problem with this is that when we identify with our ego, we become incredibly vulnerable. The armor is designed to be impressive, but it is thin and easily dented. An insult, a criticism, a failure, these are the blows that leave deep, ugly dents in our polished self-image. And because we believe we are the armor, we experience these dents as devastating personal wounds. Our entire life becomes a stressful and exhausting performance of trying to protect this fragile suit of armor from any possible scratch or dent. We avoid challenges for fear of failing and denting our successful image. We avoid honesty for fear of being disliked and denting our popular image. We live in constant fear of the opinions of others, because they hold the power to damage the very thing we have mistaken for ourselves. The transformative solution is the profound Stoic act of psychological separation. It is the wisdom to understand that you are not the fragile, external suit of armor. You are the strong, invincible, and untouchable warrior within. The core Stoic idea is that your self-worth must be anchored in your character, not in your reputation. Your true identity for a Stoic is your prohairesis, your faculty of choice, your ability to act with virtue. This is the warrior within. Your reputation, how others see you, is the armor. The Stoics classified reputation as an external and indifferent. It is preferable to have a good one, but it is not essential to your well-being or your goodness. The warrior is not harmed if his ceremonial armor is dented, as long as his own spirit, his own character, remains intact and virtuous. The benefit of this separation is that you become psychologically invincible. When someone insults your armor, when they call you foolish or weak, you no longer experience it as a personal wound. You can look at the dent in the armor with a sense of detached curiosity and say, "Interesting, the armor has been struck, but I, the warrior within, am unharmed." This frees you to act with courage and authenticity, no longer constrained by the crippling fear of what others might think of your polished exterior. The actionable step to practice this separation is the ego armor check. Take out your journal and create 2 columns. In the first column, labeled My Fragile Armor Ego, list the parts of your self-image that are most sensitive to criticism. What are you most afraid of people thinking about you? E.g., that I'm not smart enough, that I'm a fraud, that I'm not successful. Be honest. These are the weak points in your armor. In the second column, labeled My Invincible Core, Character, list the qualities of the warrior within that you are committed to building. These are your virtues, e.g., my commitment to honesty, my courage to face challenges, my discipline to keep my promises to myself. Your practice is to consciously and deliberately shift your sense of I from the first column to the second. When you feel the sting of an insult, remind yourself, they have struck my armor, my ego's desire to be seen as smart. But I, the warrior, am my commitment to learning and improving. This insult cannot touch my core. I urge you to conduct this inventory this week. Identify your armor, and then choose to identify with the warrior within. This protects our identity. But what about the immediate, visceral, emotional reaction to an insult? Our next lesson is on mastering that inner reaction. If you are ready to separate from your ego, please like this video. Lesson 3. Mastering the inner reaction. Imagine a calm, deep, and perfectly clear pool of water. This is your natural state of inner peace. An insult is a stone dropped into this pool. The stone itself is a small external event. The initial ripples that spread out from its impact are your first automatic physiological and emotional reaction. The inner conflict we face is that we believe these initial chaotic ripples are the end of the story. We believe that we are the ripples, and that we must be tossed about by them until they slowly eventually fade away. The painful problem is that this initial inner reaction to an insult can be incredibly powerful and can feel completely overwhelming. It is a physiological event. The amygdala, our brain's threat detector, fires in a fraction of a second, flooding our system with adrenaline and cortisol. Our heart races, our face flushes, our stomach clenches. This is the amygdala hijack. It is a primal, pre-rational, and incredibly fast response. If we do not have a strategy to deal with it, this initial inner storm will almost always dictate our external actions, leading to the defensive, angry, or shameful reactions that we later regret. We lose our composure because we have been capsized by the very first ripple. The transformative solution is not to try and prevent the stone from ever being thrown, nor is it to try and stop the first ripple from ever forming. Both are impossible. The solution is to become the master of the pool, to learn how to allow the initial ripple to happen without letting it churn the entire body of water into a muddy, chaotic mess. It is the art of mastering the inner reaction. The core Stoic idea is that we must learn to distinguish between our first automatic impressions, phantaiai, and our secondary, voluntary assent to them. The initial physiological jolt and negative feeling you get from an insult is a primal impression. It is, as the Stoics saw it, a natural and morally neutral event. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of being a human, not a stone. The loss of composure, the true failure, comes in the second step. When we consciously assent to this impression, when we agree with it and feed it with our own panicked thoughts, saying, "Yes, this feeling is correct. This is a disaster. I must act on it now." The Stoic warrior trains himself to feel the first ripple without assenting to it. The benefit of this is that you are no longer afraid of your own feelings. You can experience the initial painful sting of an insult without it escalating into a full-blown emotional storm. You create a crucial buffer of calm that allows your rational mind to come back online and choose a wise and dignified response. The actionable step to master this is the physiological intercept. The moment you feel the physical sting of an insult, the hot flush, the racing heart, the clenched stomach, you must immediately and deliberately shift your entire focus of attention to a single, neutral, physical anchor point. The most powerful anchor is the feeling of your own feet planted firmly on the floor. Bring all of your awareness to the soles of your feet. Feel their connection to the ground. Feel the texture of your socks, the pressure in your shoes. Wiggle your toes. This simple, subtle act does something miraculous. It pulls your attention out of the storytelling, catastrophic part of your brain and anchors it in the simple, solid, present-moment reality of your physical body. This is a powerful circuit breaker for the amygdala hijack. It is you, as the master of the pool, acknowledging the ripple on the surface while simultaneously connecting with the profound stillness of the depths. I challenge you to practice this intercept the very next time you feel that initial jolt. The moment you feel the sting, immediately go to your feet. This is how you master the inner reaction. But this inner calm must be anchored to something even deeper. Our next lesson is on anchoring ourselves in our core values. Please comment below and share your experience if you try this powerful technique. Lesson 4. Anchoring in core values. Imagine a great, tall ship in the middle of a ferocious ocean storm. The wind is howling, the waves are crashing, and the chaotic forces of nature are threatening to drive the ship onto the deadly rocks. A foolish captain would be consumed by the storm. He would stare at the waves, he would curse the wind, and his ship would be tossed about without direction. The wise captain, however, knows that the only way to survive the storm is to drop a heavy, powerful anchor deep into the seabed below. The waves and the wind, representing the insults, the chaos, and the opinions of others, still crash against the hull of the ship, but the anchor holds it fast. The anchor, connected to the solid, unmoving ground far beneath the turbulent surface, keeps the ship from being dashed upon the rocks. A man's core values are this anchor. The inner conflict we face is that we often try to navigate the storms of social interaction without ever having built or deployed our anchor. The painful problem is that if we have no deep internal anchor, we will be completely at the mercy of the social storm. We get thrown off our course by every insult, by every criticism, by every changing wind of public opinion. Our sense of direction, our very sense of self, is determined by the chaotic waves of external feedback. This makes us feel unstable, anxious, and constantly in need of calm seas to feel okay. We lack the inner stability to hold our own position in a storm, and so we are easily washed away by the currents of others' judgments. The transformative solution is to do the deep, foundational work of defining your core values, and then learning to consciously drop that heavy anchor in any social storm, especially when you feel the sting of disrespect. The core Stoic idea is that if you know with unshakable certainty what you stand for, it matters far less what others say about you. Your core values, your commitment to honesty, to courage, to kindness, to justice, become your true north. They are a reference point for your character that is far more real, far more important, and far more stable than any fleeting external opinion. When an insult comes, the Stoic doesn't ask, "Is this person's opinion of me good or bad?" He asks, "Am I in this moment living in accordance with my own deepest values?" This is the only question that matters. The benefit of this is that it builds an unshakable core of self-respect. You are no longer looking outward for your sense of worth. You are sourcing it from your own internal commitment to your principles. This is the source of true dignity. The actionable step to practice this is the Values Shield exercise. First, you must have clearly defined your top 3 core values. Take the time to do this. Write them down. Then the next time you feel insulted or disrespected, after you have paused and anchored yourself physiologically, you will deliberately deploy your Values Shield. You will consciously ask yourself this question: does this person's comment have any bearing whatsoever on my ability to live by my value of e.g., courage, honesty, kindness in this very moment? The answer will always and inevitably be no. Their words cannot stop you from being courageous. Their opinion cannot stop you from acting with integrity. This realization is profoundly liberating. It is you, as the captain of the ship, realizing that no matter how hard the wind blows, it cannot break your anchor chain. I urge you to define your values and to practice using this powerful question as your shield. Anchor yourself in what truly matters. This anchor gives us stability. But how do we gain a wider perspective on the storm itself? Our next lesson is on the profound power of emotional distance. Please subscribe to the Stoic Power channel to continue your journey of building an unshakable character. Lesson 5. The power of emotional distance. Imagine you are a brilliant astronomer looking through the lens of a powerful telescope at a distant, exploding star. A supernova. It is one of the most violent and chaotic events in the entire universe. From your vantage point, millions of light years away, you can study this incredible fiery event with fascination, with curiosity, and with a sense of awe. You can learn from it. You can analyze its components. But you are at a safe, immense distance. You are personally, physically unharmed by the cosmic explosion. Your emotional state is one of calm, scientific curiosity, not of terror. The inner conflict we face is that when we experience the explosion of an insult or a personal attack, we are not the astronomer. We experience it as if the star is exploding right in our own face. We have no psychological distance whatsoever. The painful problem is that this lack of perspective is what allows the insult to have such a devastating emotional impact. We are too close to it. We are so entangled in the immediate, fiery, and personal nature of the event that we lose all sense of objectivity. A small, thoughtless comment can feel like a life-threatening catastrophe. A fleeting bad mood from another person can feel like a permanent verdict on our own worth. This emotional myopia, this inability to step back, is a primary cause of our suffering. We are burned by the explosion because we are standing right next to it, mistakenly believing that there is nowhere else to stand. The transformative solution is the profound Stoic practice of cognitive distancing. It is the art of intentionally stepping back from the chaotic tapestry of our immediate problems and learning to view our own lives with the vast, calm, and detached perspective of the astronomer. The core Stoic idea that facilitates this is the famous meditation known as the view from above. The Stoics, particularly the Emperor Marcus Aurelius, would practice mentally zooming out from their immediate circumstances to see their own lives and their own problems against the vast, silent backdrop of space and time. This is not about dissociating from life or becoming uncaring. It is about seeing your life in its true, cosmic context in order to diminish the overwhelming power of disturbing emotions and to restore a sense of rational perspective. The benefit of this is a profound sense of calm and objectivity. From a higher, wider perspective, the problems, insults, and anxieties that seemed so monumental and all-consuming just moments ago shrink down to their actual, manageable, and often insignificant size. The emotional fire that felt so hot and so threatening is revealed to be a tiny, temporary flicker in a vast, eternal darkness. This gives you the emotional space to respond to your life with wisdom and grace, rather than with panicked, short-sighted reaction. The actionable step is to practice a 5-minute cosmic zoom-out meditation. Sit quietly and close your eyes. First, visualize yourself and your immediate problem in the room you are in. Then, imagine your awareness floating upward, looking down on your house, then your city, then your country. Continue to rise, seeing the beautiful curve of the earth, the continents, the deep blue oceans. Float further out, past the moon, past the other planets in our solar system, until our entire sun is just another twinkling star among billions in the spiraling arm of the Milky Way galaxy. From this vast, silent, and peaceful cosmic perch, gently bring your specific problem or the sting of the insult to mind. See how it appears from this immense vantage point. Hold that perspective. Breathe in the profound stillness of the cosmos, and feel the weight of your personal burdens lighten in the face of such immeasurable vastness. Practicing this regularly will fundamentally change your relationship with your own mind and its problems. You will learn to detach from your moods and your ego's wounds without suppressing them. You will cultivate an inner astronomer who can, at any moment, access a state of calm, vast perspective, no matter what turmoil is happening on your personal planet. See this practice not as an escape, but as a powerful tool for re-engaging with your life from a wiser, calmer, and more effective place. This distance gives us peace, but can it also give us power? Our next lesson is on reclaiming control through the alchemy of reflection. If you are ready to gain a new perspective, please like this video. Lesson 6: Reclaiming Control Through Reflection. Imagine a master blacksmith in his forge. On the floor lies a piece of broken, jagged, and seemingly useless scrap metal. It is the byproduct of a failed project, a mistake. A novice might see this scrap as a symbol of failure, a piece of trash to be swept into the corner and forgotten. But the master blacksmith sees it differently. He sees it not as waste, but as a valuable raw material. He takes the jagged scrap, representing the painful, sharp memory of an insult or a failure, and he puts it into the purifying fire of his forge. The fire is his reflection. He then places the glowing metal on his anvil and begins to strike it with the heavy hammer of his reason. With each deliberate blow, he reshapes the metal, purifies it, and transforms it from a piece of useless scrap into a strong, functional, and valuable tool. The inner conflict we face is that we are often the novice. We carry the sharp, jagged pieces of past insults around with us as painful, useless baggage. The painful problem is that we allow past insults and wounds to fester in our minds without ever transforming them into something of value. We ruminate on them. We replay the scene over and over. We feel the sting again and again, but we never learn from the experience. The insult remains a piece of jagged scrap metal in our soul that cuts us every time we touch it. The pain is not put to any use, and so it becomes a source of chronic suffering, bitterness, and resentment. The transformative solution is to become the alchemical blacksmith of your own mind. It is the deliberate, reflective practice of taking the painful memory of an insult and through the fire of your reflection and the hammer of your reason, reforging it into a useful tool of wisdom and strength. The core Stoic idea is that nothing in life is a waste to the trained and philosophical mind. Every experience, and especially every painful experience, is a priceless opportunity for learning and growth if we have the courage to reflect on it properly. An insult from this perspective can be an incredibly valuable, if unsolicited, lesson. It can reveal a truth about the other person's character that is important for us to know. Or, more challengeably, it can reveal a hidden insecurity, a weak point, or a blind spot in our own character that needs our attention and our work. The benefit of this is that you become a person who profits from every experience. You are no longer just a victim of insults. You are a student of them. You learn to extract the hidden value from even your most negative interactions, which makes you incredibly resilient and accelerates your personal growth. The actionable step is the alchemical journal practice. After you have fully calmed down from the emotional sting of an insult, take out your journal. Write down the insult or disrespectful event. Then become the blacksmith and reforge it by answering these transformative questions. 1. What did this experience teach me about the other person's character, their values, their fears, or their pain? What is the objective data I can now use to inform my future interactions with them? 2. Did this insult, however unfairly delivered, happen to strike a hidden insecurity or a kernel of truth in me? Is there a weak spot in my own armor that this experience has revealed, which I can now be grateful for the opportunity to strengthen? 3. How can I use this entire experience, both the event and my reaction to it, to become a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate person moving forward? This is not about agreeing with the insult or forgiving the person who delivered it. It is about selfishly and strategically extracting every last drop of wisdom and strength from the experience for your own benefit. I challenge you to try this alchemical process on one past insult that still has a hold on you. Find the tool hidden in the scrap metal. This brings us to our final lesson. How do we integrate all these practices to live a life that is truly and permanently above the fray of external judgment? Our final lesson will explore this ultimate state of being. Please subscribe to the Stoic Power channel to complete your journey. Lesson 7. Living above external judgment. Imagine the sun, a magnificent and self-sufficient star. It hangs in the center of the solar system, radiating its own immense light and heat from its own core. Its very nature is to shine. Down on Earth, the creatures of the world react to it in 1,000 different ways. The dogs may bark at its rising, the clouds may temporarily obscure its face. Some people may curse its heat on a hot day, while others may praise its warmth on a cold one. But the sun is utterly, profoundly, and majestically indifferent to all of it. It does not shine brighter for the praise, nor does it dim its light because of the criticism. Its value and its purpose are entirely intrinsic. It simply continues to be what it is, a source of pure, unconditional light. The final and most aspirational stage of our Stoic journey is to learn to become like the sun. The inner conflict we face is that we are still, on some level, a planet, deriving our light and warmth from the approval of others. The painful problem is that as long as our sense of worth is in any way dependent on the external judgments of other people, we are not truly free. Our inner state will always be contingent on the fickle and uncontrollable weather of public opinion. We will still feel the sting of insults and the seductive pull of praise. We will still be living, to some degree, for an external audience. This prevents us from achieving the highest state of tranquility and the most authentic expression of our own character. The transformative solution is the final, profound synthesis of all the lessons we have explored. It is to graduate from being a student of these techniques to becoming a living embodiment of them. It is to live a life so deeply rooted in your own internal compass, so secure in your own self-worth and purpose, that the external judgments of others, both positive and negative, become as irrelevant to you as the barking of dogs is to the sun. The core idea is the ultimate Stoic freedom, the achievement of the states of apatheia, freedom from disturbing passions, and ataraxia, unshakable tranquility. In this state, Your self-worth is 100% generated from within, through your unwavering commitment to living a life of virtue and reason. The opinions of others are then seen for what they truly are: preferred indifference. A good reputation is preferable, but it is not necessary for a good life. A bad reputation is dispreferred, but it cannot harm your core character. You become truly free because you have placed your entire sense of well-being on the one thing you can completely control: the quality of your own soul. The benefit of this is the ultimate prize of all philosophy: a life of profound peace, unshakable confidence, and authentic joy. You become the source of your own light. The actionable step to achieve this is the declaration of inner sovereignty. This is a final, personal vow that you make to yourself, a powerful statement of your commitment to this new way of being. Write it down. Put it somewhere you will see it every day. It is your personal manifesto of freedom. It could be something like this: my worth is determined by my character and my virtuous actions, not by the fleeting opinions of others. I am the sole and final judge of my own value. I will live in accordance with my principles and my reason, and I will let the world think and say what it will. I will be the sun. By reading and internalizing this declaration every day, you are consciously choosing your own freedom. You are reminding yourself of where your true power lies. This is the culmination of your journey. It is the art of detaching from insults so completely that you achieve a state of profound and unshakable inner freedom. We have journeyed through the 7 great disciplines of the Stoic mind, from understanding the weight of words to the final, radiant freedom of living above all external judgment. This ancient path teaches us that our invulnerability to the insults of others is not found in building higher walls, but in realizing at the deepest level that our true self, our inner character, was never in any danger at all. Thank you for taking this time to explore this path to inner freedom and unshakable strength. If this video has served you on your journey, please like this video, comment with your greatest takeaway, and subscribe to the Stoic Power channel for more wisdom on building an unconquerable mind and a life of profound integrity.